Another question may arise, and that is it a must for me to break my fast when I hear the adhan? Is it a must for me to stop eating, refrain from food and drinks when I hear the adhan of Fajr? The answer to that is no, it's not. See, adhan, the call for prayer, is a sign, but it is not everything. In the Quran, Allah did not say that you should refrain from food and beverages when the adhan is called. No, He said when you can differentiate between day and night, when you see the white thread of the day coming up east, and you can differentiate between night and day, then you should stop eating. So, and also to break your fast is when the sun sets. So if you are at I won't say the coast side, because the sun sets elsewhere, but for example, if you are in a country where there's on the horizon it's open, whether it's a desert or a plain piece of land or the sea, and you can see the sun setting down, getting down, the minute you see the whole ring of the sun disappear, you should break your fast. Some of the people that call for adhan, that call for prayer, give 2 to 3 minutes to be on the safe side. If you see it, if the sun has disappeared, you should not wait for the adhan. You should eat. Go ahead immediately. Eat and drink. Because this is what Allah Azza wa Jalla has told you to do. The adhan is just a sign. What happens if the guy forgot? What happens if the guy slept? You still wait? God, it's 2 hours, 3 hours. The guy did not call for adhan. It's nightfall. It's nighttime. It's almost midnight, and the guy did not call. Electricity was off. You could not hear the adhan because no speakers, no microphones, nothing. What would you do? No, you should break your fast the minute the sun has set. And also, you should refrain from drinking, from eating, from doing the things that nullifies your fasting the minute the dawn has come, and you can distinguish between this and that. I think this is all that covers our subject regarding this, but I think that we would have a lot of questions regarding this subject. Does anybody have a question?
Each region has its own sighting. How about Muslims living in non-Muslim region? To clarify my point, let me give you an example. Once I was in the Netherlands, and then it was the beginning of Ramadan. The people of a certain group started fasting in one day because they follow the sighting of their home country. Another group started also fasting in another day. So this resulted in 1 day difference. So what do you think of this case?
This type of difference should not occur among the Muslim community. And we have a very big problem with Muslims worldwide that do not follow the Quran and the Sunnah. Each group thinks that they are doing the right thing. Unfortunately, there are many cases that we have people doing this out of their own private, out of their own personal reasons. I will not go into this, but each region should have an authority. Even if it's a non-Muslim country, for the Netherlands, for example, they should have their own imam. They should have their own Islamic reference they go back to that explains things to them, that can have the power to make marriages, to make divorces, and to give verdicts and fatwa regarding their everyday life. So if this is the scenario, if this is the case, if that Islamic or if that region, non-Muslim region, has this person, then they all should follow what he says. Although he's not a political leader, he's not an authority in the sense of law, nevertheless, Islamically, Muslims should all gather and they all should follow one man so that they don't have any disputes. Those who follow the sighting of their own country are definitely on the wrong track. See, people in Saudi Arabia, if they sight the moon, it is definitely different than those who sight it in the Netherlands. Okay, if you are in a country that does not have this man, and they do not have this Muslim community among them, and no one is there to sight the moon, although I know personally that there are people in the States, there are people in Europe that do sight the moon. Though their countries are considered to be non-Muslim countries, yet they do go and sight the moon. So you should follow them. But in worst case scenario, if you do not have people to go and sight the moon, and there is no Muslim leader that people follow in that particular region, then you should look at the region next to you. You should look at the region closest to you that sights the moon, and you should follow them. Any other question, please? Yes, sir.
In the case of like when you're eating in your pre-dawn meal, and adhan comes in, all right, or the time that is predicted for for the light to come, and you're still having your pre-dawn meal and you just didn't finish, do you stop eating or do you finish what you were eating and then you just fast?
You cannot govern this, because if I tell you finish eating, the guy has a whole big sheep in front of him and said, well, I have to eat this, I have to finish it all. No, it's not this. It all depends on the person calling for the adhan. Now, I'm supposed to stop eating the minute I can tell that the dawn has it's only the break of dawn. Okay? But in today's life, with all these lights and buildings, it's very difficult for me to distinguish that. So I rely entirely on this person calling for the adhan. There is a hadith that he takes responsibility for that. And he's trusted. The Prophet says, ﷺ, the person that calls for adhan is trusted. We trust what he says. So if I believe that this guy is trusted, and I am willing to perform prayer once he calls the adhan, then I should follow him. So if he calls for the adhan, I should immediately cease eating, stop eating. Okay, with the exception of drinking. Because there is a hadith from the Prophet ﷺ, where he says that if the man calls, if the guy calling for prayer, if he calls for prayer, he makes the adhan, while one of you has a pot drinking from it, he should not let it down until he fulfills his needs. So if I have 3 liters and I'm thirsty and I start drinking and the guy calls for adhan, alhamdulillah, I have the permission to keep on drinking until I'm satisfied. Even if it takes 3 minutes to do it, I'm drinking, I'm constantly, well, this is applicable in the cases of camels. You know, camels drink a lot of water, but in our case, alhamdulillah, it's your right, you have it. It's not right to do like a lot of people do, is they sit idly and doing whatever they want to do. Once they hear the call for adhan, they rush to the kitchen, open the fridge, and get some water. Well, the guy is calling for the adhan and start drinking. No, this is not acceptable, because this is twisting it. The right way of doing it, if you're drinking and it calls for adhan, don't stop drinking. Keep on drinking. You have the right to do that. But while eating, if it calls for adhan, stop eating. Don't finish your plate. Don't finish your dish, because it is not as important as drinking. Eating, you can go on without eating for a while, but drinking, you have to drink. And you have only limited time that you can wait without drinking. I think this answers your question, and I think that this is all the time we have for today's lesson. Until we meet inshallah next time, fi amanillah, wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.